I just get used to doing it every time. All right. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, for another episode. We got Manoug back here. It's just Manoug this time. Last week we had George. We talked about, Celtics, a little bit of Patriots. This week it's really just going to be Celtics and the NFL Wildcard matchups in general. It's nice to have an actual Celtics fan instead of a Lakers fan to talk about the Celtics. And yeah. So this past week in the NBA and with the Celtics, we had a little bit of recovery, I'd say, from the first week. In a way, in a sense. It was a little rough to start off. That Nets loss was tough to watch. That second half, I don't want to really get back into it. We talked about that already last week. But they beat the Grizzlies. They lose to the Pistons. And then they beat the Pistons. And then they beat the Raptors in a game that really wasn't close whatsoever. They kind of just let them come back at the end, one of those classic NBA games with the starters out. So what do you think? What did you think of what you saw out of the Celtics this week?
I think other than that first Pistons loss, which was just really, really awful, the last, 5 minutes we didn't score a bucket. It was like the last 4 or 5 minutes we just got really cold. That was inexcusable, but I think thankfully we made up for it the next 2 nights later. Even though it was a back-and-forth game, it was competitive. We made the shots that counted, and I think that was a really good morale boost just to beat them like that, even though I know you think it wasn't that good of a win.
So here's the thing with the things that stand out the most are the 2 Pistons games. What happened with the Grizzlies, I expect, because they didn't have John Moran. He's out. That actually happened like right after the video of last week, which was me and George are sitting here after. We're like, what the hell just happened to John Moran? It was crazy. And the
Luckily
Raptors,
it's nothing serious though.
Yeah, I mean hopefully it's the minimum. Yeah, because I do love Ja. But realistically speaking, even with him, I don't expect the Celtics to beat the Grizzlies handily like that, I guess. But I do expect them to win because the Grizzlies aren't exactly. They have John Morant. They have a couple of solid role players there, but they're not one of the better teams in the NBA. The Raptors, that was a great win, especially shorthanded. No Teague, no Smart. So that was great. But in between those games were the Pistons games, and they lost the first one.
And it's a tough loss for sure. It's a tough pill to swallow. But like I said, you don't think that win makes it a little more excusable?
I was about to, they lose by 3, and then they win by 2, and they let them score 120 points. So I'm just I've always said this, and I've been saying it a lot more recently, as I'm paying more attention to each individual game with the Celtics as I grow older. They play down to their competition way too much. There's a comparison. My dad has always said this with the Patriots when Tom Brady was here. Everyone plays like their Super Bowl. You got to beat the Patriots. They're the best team. Look at them. The Celtics is the opposite. They play some of the worst teams in the league sometimes, and they play down to their level, and it drives me crazy.
Well, I think with such a long season, you're going to get some of those games where they'll come out fatigued or just come out not hot. And then, like I said, those losses against the Pistons, it's going to happen. We're not going to go, 72-0, whatever, how many games are this year.
Right.
We're winning the games we should. That Raptors win was huge.
Right.
I think just morale, everything. We were down Marcus Smart. We still don't have Kemba. We didn't have Jeff Teague. We had Peyton Pritchard, the savior, going off. That was a really good win.
Yeah. No, it was. Trust me, they were definitely on the upswing compared to what I was thinking about them, earlier in the week or late last week. But it's just, to me, a loss like that against the Pistons and letting up, even in a win, that many points and only winning by 2 is just a reason why this team isn't going to go far. To me, in my eyes, you can't, you can lose to those teams every once in a while, but when you didn't see them, obviously. There's that component to the game too. You got a game plan, but you play them back-to-back nights, and the second one was at home, where you only won by 2. So it's or was it at home?
No, for some reason we stayed the weekend in Detroit. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Something like that. But it was just it's those kinds, because the Pistons are literally trying to be a bottom 5 team in the NBA on purpose almost.
How many wins do the Pistons have now?
That was their first win against them.
God,
that was their first win.
1-4.
That was their first win.
I mean, all right, I get it. I get what you're saying.
It's just I love the Celtics, and it's not going to make me not want to watch them and watch the product they put out there. But it's in the back of my head. Like I said it with George last week. It's kind of the same concept. Yeah, Jamal Murray was going crazy in the bubble in the playoffs. You know, everyone's hyped. They're having fun watching, and he's a breakout star. Guess what? LeBron's winning the championship. That's in the back of my head. It's kind of like the same thing with the Celtics here. Cool. It's going to be fun. They're going to make the playoffs. It's going to be a nice run. The young guys are going to develop. We're going to have some of these, like, random utility guys do well as we pay attention to Celtics fans. But in the back of my head, it's going to be like, dude, we lost to the Pistons, and that shows me that, like, how are we going to go anywhere if we're going to lose to a team like that?
The playoffs is a different animal, dude. Those are 7-game series. You adjust based on your matchups. I think more than anything, what these games are telling us early on, like you said, we're going to have the losses, but wins, losses aside, the fact that Jalen and Tatum have been performing at such a dominant level, I think makes a Celtics fan feel much more comfortable than any wins or losses can do right now.
Yeah. Oh, breaking news! First time ever on this channel. I don't know. Adrian Wojnarowski just tweeted. I get his tweets updated to my phone. Celtics players were engaged in a players-only meeting within the last 45 minutes in Miami locker room. I don't know what that means. Take it with however you
based on today's recent events.
Maybe With
they reported no games were going to be postponed or anything, so I think we should be fine. But similar situation to the bubble, not as severe, but maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's probably what it was.
I mean, did it say anything about the game? It's in 3 minutes, so
yeah, no, they said it should be fine. But that's cool though to have some breaking news on this for the first time. But yeah, with the Celtics too. You know, watching the young guys develop, like you said, I guess I was wrong against Peyton Pritchard unless he has a complete rookie wall that he hits. I was saying this guy looked like Danny Ainge's intern that he used the 26th pick on when they first took him.
You could be looking at like the next Tyler Hero type pick, dude.
I don't know about that.
He's been performing better than Naismith right now.
He is. I mean, Naismith's more raw. I didn't expect Naismith to get this little playing time, but Pritchard was, 4-year college player.
Yeah.
Those guys usually, his ceiling might not be as high as Naismith's, but he's probably a better usage player right now.
And I'd say it's all about opportunity with all these injuries we have at guard.
Right.
Because Naismith, we have Semi coming off the bench. We have Grant Williams coming off the bench.
Exactly.
And Jalen and Jason are playing a lot of minutes.
Right. And now Kemba's out, obviously. Yeah. And Smart's banged up. Teague's banged up. I don't know why they started Waters over Pritchard.
Yeah, I don't know.
To be completely honest with you.
He barely got minutes anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listen, anything's better than Wanamaker.
Stop. I'm so sometimes. So I do have one like random fantasy basketball league.
And what do you have, Wanamaker on there?
No, I have Wiseman. So like I go in like Bleacher Report and I look at the Warriors games like late at night and I look like at the stats and I just look at the bench and it's Brad Wanamaker like 8 minutes, 0 for 4 from the field, 1 rebound.
That's the Warriors' problem now, dude.
Get out of here with that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, I like Pritchard. I like what I've seen. He needs to stop stepping out of bounds. That's about that's it, really.
What do you think about Jalen's little elevated status right now? He's averaging 26 a game right now. It's career high.
Right. He has does he have the most points in the NBA? Did Beal pass him again?
He might. I don't think right now. It's probably 26.
I saw where
28.
It was him. Like total points.
Oh, total points.
It was him and Tatum in the top 3,
which is amazing to see.
Bradley Beal's up there too.
Yeah.
To be in the conversation with Bradley Beal, but that's what they need to do, especially with Kemba out. I don't know what it's going to look like when he comes back.
Early on, no, obviously it's only such a small window of games to judge on, but if he keeps this up and is like a solid 1 and 2, 1A, 1B with Tatum, and we potentially have 2 All-Stars, that's what we're going to need down the line. Where Kemba, like we all got upset at Kemba for not being the closer last year, and we all got upset because Tatum tried to do a little too much, this, that, whatever it may be. But I think if they all play at this elite level throughout the year, we have a solid chance.
Of course.
Not jumping the gun or anything. They're still like Brooklyn and all that, but I think this is a good sign. What do you think about the start overall though? Are you like more confident? Or?
I like it. I wish some games weren't as close as they were. I hate the close loss to the Pacers.
Yeah.
I know that was like last week. I didn't like the shot. I didn't like any of that.
We always, for some reason, have a closing problem.
Yeah.
Some games, obviously, Tatum hits them. And I love that Pistons game. Jalen hit a crazy 3. He was hot. And then Tatum with that game winner was tied up. And then just working off that Raptors one. Tonight will be huge. This Miami game, hopefully we'll watch this in a couple days and we'll have this win underhand. But this will be a tough game as well.
It's back-to-back games. This Heat game and the Raptors game, the last one, it's really going to show because the Pacers are also everyone. When we had the four of us here, I was saying the Pacers. Everyone's like, "Nah, Pacers."
They're good this year, man.
They're still going to be
good.
Sabonis
is playing elite.
They're always going to be there. and that loss can be huge because you might be right with them in the standings.
Yeah.
So that could be a tiebreaker.
Even though it doesn't mean much.
Let's take a look. Any surprises we got here? Sixers are 6-1.
Sixers have been killing it. They added those, like we said, we talked about it last time I was here. Those shooters.
Complete
Curry's
flip
been
over.
playing well. Danny Green's been playing well.
Yep. Magic are
Magic
up there.
is a surprise.
The Knicks are 4-3.
I actually really like the Knicks. Dude, you never know. R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle is the next dynamic duo of the NBA.
I don't even know what to say about the
Tom
Knicks.
Thibodeau.
4-3.
Tom Thibodeau coached the team. You never know.
That's without Obi Toppin right now too. That's supposed to be their guy.
They have Alfred Payton playing well too. Austin Rivers playing well. They have a good team. You never know. In the East, even though it's only been 7 games, Cleveland's 4-3.
We talked about the Cavs last week, George and I, and they kind of came back to earth like we thought they would. But I mean, if they can still hang around, there's a lot of these teams that are obviously going to fall out of it. Like the Raptors aren't. They're 1-5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the biggest surprise. That in Washington, it's like so early to make a judgment. But
I told you guys, the Wizards are going to be fighting for that 8th seed. They're not going to be like.
Well, those losses have been very close losses. Some of them like overtime here and there. Some of them rusted and I don't know. I think they're going to be fine. I think they'll still manage an 8th seed.
Yeah, there's going to be definitely some shakeups.
Toronto, I feel like that's kind of a shocker.
Yeah.
But they lost Ibaka, they lost Gasol. They have Boucher who developed, and they have Aaron Baines. They're not really good on big men. And then Siakam's not playing that well to start. They might fall off. Who knows? Should we go on to like the Western Conference?
I mean, again, we're talking about the Celtics more, but I got to talk about the West. I mean, the Lakers are 6-2. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The
Phoenix.
Suns 5-2.
Phoenix is a surprise. We're saying they're going to be good.
We said it, yeah.
Chris Paul, Devin Booker, even Aiden's been playing well.
Yeah, no, that's their big 3 right there. Honestly, watching like some of their highlights, Chris Paul isn't even like doing the most that he could do. What he's capable of.
Booker's playing at a nice level.
Yeah, he is.
I think Aiden's been producing.
So when they got their role players too, clicking on all cylinders. The Clippers, they held out with Kawhi out for a couple of games there. The Warriors are making a little bit of a comeback. Steph's
coming back. I'm a Steph fan. And all these haters, all these people talking like he can't win without Clay.
Yeah.
He can't do this. He literally told them all to just
He took all that
suck
personally. He took that
drop
personally.
What was it? 63 points, 62 points. Next night comes out, drops 30. He's putting the team on his back, bro. That's a former MVP.
Yeah.
Put respect on his name.
Bottom of the West, what did we expect? Thunder, Timberwolves, Grizzlies. I feel like I said that.
Let me see here.
I know it's the second week or whatever, but I expected that. I'm sorry. I really did.
What is it looking like? Memphis, 2-5, 2-5, 2-4. Houston's 2-3. Like it's so close to really find any separation. Sacramento 3-4. Yeah, it's still so close.
Okay. So we got the standings. We got the past week of the Celtics to talk about. But there's something specifically why I wanted you to come in to talk about this whole Gordon Hayward thing, the beef that we keep going with back and forth. So you say, I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Hornets. Like, I see what they're doing, like with their wins and whatnot, but you're saying Hayward's apparently going off.
Listen, in the 7 games, no matter how little of a thing that is, he's had 18.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. That's very solid.
Okay. Is that worth $30 million a year?
I'm not saying it is, but he's our best player right now. Him and LaMelo, what's their record? 4-3?
That's fine. But that's what he has to do. He's paid to be the best player.
They're 2-5 for the record.
He's paid to be the best player on that team.
And it looks like they're working for comparison. Last year, 52 games with us, 17 a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. How is that bad? Just because the bubble, he barely played.
You can say
how is that bad?
You can say all that.
17, 6, and 4 is not bad.
My rebuttal, like I said when the 4 of us were here a couple weeks ago, when we had this argument, conversation, whatever, was, okay, but what is that doing for the team overall? They made it further without him, and now you're seeing the young guys, as we are all freaking out, all freaking out about Jaylen Brown. You think he's doing this with Gordon Hayward still on this team? I don't think so. He might be just as efficient, but he's not taking the amount of shots, and he's definitely not scoring the points that he's scoring.
No, it's definitely
with Gordon Hayward on this team.
For sure, because Gordon Hayward's minutes got diluted into like Semi Ojeleye, Grant Williams, whoever's getting them.
Right.
Obviously, Tatum and Brown picked up some of the slack with him missing, and that's great, and they're performing so well.
Yeah.
But if you look last year when all these talks about Gordon Hayward coming back or not, people were asked, Tatum was getting asked, Jalen Smart, they all said we're a better team with Hayward. statistically,
Of course,
whatever.
what else are they going to say?
Dude, this is a
Of
better
course.
team with Hayward.
I don't think so. Trust me, I
don't think he's going to make or break us making the finals or not, because clearly we sucked last year. But if you really want to stick on that Gordon Hayward topic, it's still a tough loss. We'll see how it plays out.
I just don't. You're just not going to see these guys doing what they're. Maybe Tatum, because he's basically doing what he did last year. Maybe a little more higher level. You're seeing it, but Jaylen Brown for sure. Peyton Pritchard.
Jaylen Brown's been.
Peyton Pritchard is not. We're not freak. This PP.
Listen,
these nicknames.
As
whatever,
much as I love
Gordon Hayward be a ball handler.
As much as I like Hayward, the fact that Jalen's stepping up, like, good or in his hair.
Exactly.
I love that.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, I knew that was going to happen because he had to. He had to.
Have you heard Peyton Pritchard's nicknames and stuff?
Yeah.
8 Mile,
PP.
PP. There was so many funny ones. There was a character in 8 Mile that they did. P Rabbit.
Yeah. Yep.
So funny.
You're not seeing him do this stuff because they wouldn't have needed him to. Gordon Hayward's a ball handler.
Yeah.
He's not a point guard like Pritchard, but he would definitely be a ball handler ahead of him.
And I think we're looking decent so far. With Kemba coming back, we're only going to get better.
Right.
And so far, what we've seen in the East, Nets have been up and down. Like I said, it's way too early. We'll see how it plays out. But I think we're going to be top three team in the East.
I definitely want to see them use the trade exceptions, whether it's like full.
Who would you want to get?
I don't know.
Like $28 million?
I'd love to go. You don't have to use all of it, though. You can divide it up and get different players.
Well, what position do you think we would need right now? Let's say fully healthy. We have Kemba, Smart, Jalen, Jason. We have Tristan. We have Time Lord. We have who else?
You're saying Kemba's healthy too?
Yeah. What's our needs right now?
As much as I love Pritchard, I'm not going to say point guard.
Probably get eighth man. What's our bench? So if we have Kemba, let's say ideally we're starting Kemba, Smart, Jason, Tatum, or Jalen, Jason.
No. I don't know. Do you think Smart starts, or do you think they go with the big lineup still?
So we'd have Jalen, Tatum, Tyson, Thompson.
You think so?
Maybe. So let's say whatever those six.
Which, by the way, when we were here talking about it, I called that being the lineup. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
The Tyson Thompson
combo,
which is good. I like it. Thompson's been hustling. He's been doing good so far. So we have those six. We have seven, including Smart and Tyson, Thompson, whatever combination. So that would leave Semi, Grant Williams, and I guess Pritchard as the 8th, 9th, 10th.
I'd say our biggest need is definitely a backup forward, like a 3. So you can cut back with Semi a little bit, unless you really think, which I don't think he has, if you really think he's taken that next step, which no.
I feel like I saw some rumors on Twitter, granted, no matter how heavy you're going to take those into account, maybe like Blake Griffin type or...
I'd love to get D Rose from the Pistons.
Yeah, that too.
I'd love to get Derrick Rose. Just throw him in there. If you really want to start Smart on top of it, you're going to need another guard. What are you going to do off the bench if Smart is like an actual starter on this team?
It's true. I mean, knowing Danny, we might not make a move, obviously. I think that
That'd be
Harden
really
talk is out the window with the way that Jalen's been playing. Jalen heard that. He's like, screw all of you. I'm going off.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to take Kemba and his banged up knee and some cash considerations, maybe a couple picks, go for it. But
Kemba's about it.
We were
even Jalen straight up is too much.
We were pretty much on the same page. No Jalen, obviously no Tatum, and that's been I don't know.
I think
backed up
as long as we
play.
fix the internal, they're all stepping up. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, they're going to be fun to watch this year. I said it like I said. That we went from a scrappy team with IT in like those years to, oh my God, we're like the best team in the league with like the draft picks and the free agents and Kyrie coming here, and now we're back to kind of like the not lovable losers, but
we have high expectations. The last few years, we've underperformed.
Right, and so now I think our expectations might be a little lower if you're being realistic, but that's even better because this team can exceed those expectations.
I mean, with all that Ainge slander, I think it's really impressive that we've had such a little turnover. That year we traded Pierce and Garnett. We literally only had that 1 year where we missed playoffs. Then the next year, the trade deadline, we got Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and that led to everything. All these little moves led to the team we have now. So.
Right. He definitely needs to use that trade exception, though. Again, it doesn't have to be for someone making $30 million a year. Yeah. But I want to see someone half that.
Dude, we should have gone after Christian Wood or something, dude. All these guys.
As a free agent, though, it's a little tougher.
Yeah.
You have to make a trade. Just throw your first-round pick. If you truly think you're going to be in the middle of the first round, here's Celtics first-round pick for 2021. Give me here's like $10 million that you can use in a future deal.
Do you have any wings in like those, someone that plays that 3-4 position or 2-3 position in mind?
On a team that's probably not going to be there, the first one that comes to mind for me it's probably going to be Jabari Parker on the Kings,
Okay.
just because I don't think they're going to be in it, and he can be a solid role player.
Okay.
I like him. You know, I've
I like
always been a fan.
For like sticking to the Kings, I like a Buddy Hield type maybe.
That's a lot of money though. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's
I mean,
true.
you can do it if you
Harrison
really want.
Barnes
That's
type.
probably going to be multiple first
Yeah.
round. Oh, Harrison, I don't want that contract. Please stop.
I know. I was waiting to see your reaction on that one.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, do you want to hear the statement by the
Yeah,
Celtics
go
and the
for it.
Heat as I'm getting all these updates? The following is a statement from the players of the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. 2021 is a new year, but some things have not changed. We played tonight's game with a heavy heart after yesterday's decision in Kenosha, and knowing that
Okay.
protesters in our nation's capital are treated differently by political leaders depending on what side of certain issues they are on. The drastic difference between the way protesters this past spring and summer were treated and the encouragement given
Yeah.
to today's protesters who acted illegally just shows how much more work we have to do.
Was that a joint statement from both teams?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
a lot. Hopefully, we see a lot of the
They-
other teams doing
And
that.
they've decided to play tonight's game to bring joy.
I'm
into
glad. I'm
people's
really
lives.
glad they're using that platform to just vocally.
Oh yeah, that's
Step
what
up
the
like
NBA
that.
does.
Yeah.
They're the most progressive league in
Yeah, I love that.
in sports. So I'm really happy that they're doing that, but they're also using. You know, I don't want them to not play. We
No,
all
of
want to see them
course.
play, but I'm also happy that they're using that platform, and
For sure.
they should never stop. And
For
I know
sure.
Jalen's obviously a huge advocate
Yeah.
for all that stuff, and we love him for that. So that's awesome. But yeah, beat the Heat tonight, please.
Yeah.
We need that. That's a
That'll be
huge
nice,
game.
nice morale boost
That's a
too.
huge game, especially
Nice little rematch.
yeah. Get a little revenge for
little
the.
FU for the series.
So moving on.
We talk some NFL.
Yeah, so we have to.
Yeah.
We have to. The playoffs are here. Patriots are out, so we're not going to be any. You know, there's gonna be no bias here or anything. So I mean, although Brady's there, so but
Season's over. The
Yeah.
regular season's over.
like I said, please just stop talking about the Patriots for now.
Yeah.
I'll bring out
Patriots season's over.
I'll bring out like some like draft day stuff, like maybe in a month or two, but forget about it. We'll see when the stuff actually starts up. So we'll start in the AFC.
All right, let me pull up the wild card schedule.
Go ahead. We got the Chiefs on bye,
Yeah.
obviously. We have the 7-team format implemented for the first time this year. So they're the only ones with a bye.
I kind of like that. I like how we're gonna get 3 wild card games.
It's cool.
Wild card weekend's always fun, just 'cause it's so unpredictable. And
Yeah.
the fact that we get 3 a day now,
It's
very-
cool. It's cool.
I like it a lot.
So they're on the bye. We got the Bills hosting the Colts
Okay.
on the 2-7. On the 3-6, we got the Steelers and the Browns. And on the 4-5, we got the Titans and the Ravens. So we got some good games.
I like
This
them a
is
lot.
how I wanted it to be. I didn't want the Dolphins. in.
I'm so happy the
I'm
Dolphins
so
didn't make
happy.
it.
Not only as a
That was
Patriots
the
fan,
one like lingering thing. I was like,
not just as a Patriots fan, but I think that pure entertainment of like
Dolphins
the
aren't that
NFL.
good, dude.
Yeah, no, I'd
like
rather
Fitzmagic was coming in to close their games, and he had COVID,
Right.
so it's like
I'd rather have the Colts. I'd rather have the Browns than those two.
I
Easily.
just saw all these Dolphins fans, whether it was on Twitter or people we know, just like bragging about the team. And the second Fitzpatrick got taken out to a biggest game of his life, he just
Just
literally
couldn't
just
handle
shits
it.
the bed.
Yeah.
They got blown out.
Yeah.
It was really bad. And the fact that the Colts won, they hopped them in the standings. It worked out.
So with each matchup, what do you think, Bills and Colts?
Obviously, I'm biased. I really want to see the Bills essentially play the Chiefs in the AFC. Not to move too much ahead, but Indy's a good team. They have Jonathan Taylor running. They have Naheem Hines. They can run with. They're a very good rush offense, and they're a very good defense too. Phillip Rivers, though, I don't have too much confidence in. For that reason, I probably think the Bills are not take care of business. I think it'll be a very good defensive game,
Oh yeah.
but I think Josh Allen will just put them over the edge.
Yeah, that's two of the best defensive teams in the AFC,
Yeah.
I'd say, this year.
For sure.
At least.
Yeah,
the
for
AFC.
sure.
So that's going to be a heavy defense. But like you said, it's going to come down to Phillip Rivers, and I don't think he's in it. His history just shows.
Shits the bed every year.
He's not going to get it done.
Remember that one year? Was it 2 years ago? Everyone's hyping the Chargers as like AFC threat, like
Yep.
dark horse. What do we blow them out 45-0?
Yep. So
Oh my God, classic Rivers.
we're going to take the Bills there. We agree on that. Steelers and Browns.
See, this is a good one.
So I think personally, I
As a fan, I think we both want to see the Browns move on.
right. See,
Unless you like Steelers.
I think the 5, 6, and 7 can all win.
Yeah.
Realistically, like in some reality.
So I'll
like
say this
it's-
about
it's
the
not
Browns matchup, though. They had a lot of people on the COVID list.
Their coach.
So, the coach that just got announced, he can't coach. Stefanski can't coach, huh?
I think that's a big factor.
So what is it, their QB coach or their special teams coach coaching them?
Something like that.
Yeah. And I was going to say their cornerbacks I think Denzel Ward still has COVID. I think they have a lot of COVID-related injuries.
Yeah,
That's
so-
huge, dude. Head coach being out.
I think so. There's a lot of factors. There's that. There's three things. It was that with the COVID
Yeah.
with the Browns. The Steelers are home, and they have the experience.
Yeah.
We've already talked. Everyone knows.
We know Big Ben.
The
and
Brown.
all
The
that.
Browns haven't been here in how many years? I forget exactly.
2002,
Yeah.
I think it was LeBron, because LeBron tweeted something, and I was just thinking, like, LeBron tweeted, like, oh, congrats, Cleveland, for making the playoffs. And the last time they made it, I saw the stuff, like 2002. Like, LeBron wasn't even in the league. Let that sink in.
So
LeBron James wasn't in the NBA the last time.
I think those three
the
things.
Browns made it.
Their staff being sick.
Yeah.
Home field advantage for the Steelers, although there's no fans, obviously, but still. Or maybe there are. I don't even know what Pittsburgh's doing
every
there,
stadium,
but
every city's been different.
yeah, and they have the experience, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Steelers there. I think it's going to kind of be a gross game, I'm going to be honest with you. And I think the
Really?
Browns can win.
I think it'll be not too high scoring, but I feel like Baker can sling it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying all that, but the Steelers are also limping into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like, who knows?
Well, I think Cleveland's going to be forced to throw it because their Pittsburgh rush D is very good. And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Cleveland has a great rush offense they're going to have to rely on. So it's kind of like a irresistible force meets like an immovable object. Like they're Kareem Hunt and Chubb are really going to have to do some damage.
Right. And then the 4-5 is the Titans and Ravens rematch.
Yeah.
That's gonna
see,
be a
this
good
is
game.
I think that's the best game in the
It's going to be
AFC
a great game.
because I think it can go either way. And I know there's a lot of narratives on both ends, but what do you think's going to win? Before I give my answer.
I think this year the Ravens are going to take it.
Really?
I want it to be the Titans.
I really think the Titans are still going to win. Well, Titans won the division, right? So they're playing at home.
Right.
Technically, whatever
Right.
home is.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think Lamar Jackson's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He has that whole narrative how he can't win in the playoffs, and that's going to continue if he loses again. He can never get out of the first round.
We see it happen all the time. Like a team loses to a specific team, they come back and play them the next year in the playoffs, and they're ready for them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this year the Ravens are going to take it. I won't be surprised if the Titans take it, and I'll be happy because
Yeah.
I'd rather have the Titans than the
I
Ravens.
think that's the best game, though, for sure.
Oh,
I think it's a coin flip.
At least in the AFC.
It's Derrick Henry versus Lamar, basically.
Speaking of which, the AFC was way better than the NFC this year. Throughout.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
man.
think NFC, like, in terms of Super Bowl
Well,
contender, though,
Oh,
like,
no.
who's going to come out?
The-
Or just competitively in the playoffs?
Just all together in the standings in general.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, a team with the same record as the Patriots. The Patriots were the 10th team.
No, for sure. Yeah, if the Dolphins were 10-6 and they were the 8th seed
and
that
the
missed
Raiders,
it.
the Raiders were ahead of us
Yeah,
too. So
true.
yeah, they were the 10th team. A
True.
team with the same record won their division in the AFC with the same
Yeah.
record as the Patriots. And the Bears made it. They only had one more win.
Yeah, that's true. No,
So-
you're right. You're right.
So speaking of which, the Packers are on bye, and then so that means we have the Saints and the Bears as the 2-7 matchup.
That's gross, dude. I really wish the Cardinals made it. That was a shame what happened to Kyler, dude.
Yeah.
I think if Kyler played and they beat the Rams, I think Rams would have still made it over the Bears because the
Prob-
Bears lost.
Right.
I don't know. Can you see the Bears winning that?
No, I mean the only way is if all those guys are still
Yeah.
on the COVID.
Kamara has
list.
COVID, right?
Right. So if they can't come back, and Breeze is just like getting his like ass handed to him
Yeah.
again, like he has a couple of times this year, I could see it being a sort of trap game. But
That's true. I mean, Montgomery. How's the Saints rush D? Montgomery's
it's
been
pretty
playing
good.
well.
It's pretty good. It's good.
What are they gonna do? Trubisky to Robinson's gonna kill him.
Yeah. So
Mitch Trubisky's gonna win a playoff game,
this,
dude.
This is
against
gonna,
the Saints.
This is gonna be the game that if you're like a betting person, you're gonna see like it's
Really?
it's
I
the
think
one
the
everyone's
Saints
gonna
got it, bro.
everyone's gonna stay away from it.
Trubisky has what, like 2 years
No,
left,
I'm
bro?
taking the Saints too. 'Cause that's what I'm saying. Everyone's probably going to stay away from it, realistically speaking, because you're just going to look at it and be like, all right, the Saints are winning that.
Yeah.
You're not going to take that in the
No.
Bears in that game.
I think that's
unless
a
you're
lock.
a Bears fan. Like it's just.
I think
that's
there's
just
only
how it
really
is.
one competitive wild card game in the NFC.
Right. Yeah. That's the next one. Actually, no. I don't think there's only
Really,
one.
dude?
I don't think there's only one. But
You're such a
we'll get to
oh
we'll
my
get to
God.
that in a second.
You're
we got
such
we
a
got
Brady
the we
hater,
got the
bro.
Seahawks and the Rams. Seahawks and Rams.
All right.
What do we think?
think
Division
Seahawks.
matchup.
Jared Goff might not play, so that's first and
That's
foremost.
huge.
I think
That's
I know
huge.
Cooper Kupp just got removed off the COVID list, so that's good. But if Jared Goff doesn't play, what are they
So
gonna do?
many guys got put on the COVID list last
It's
week.
this year, man.
It's crazy. But
Whatever
last
you
week
wanna
was like
call it.
last week was like
Yeah.
the major.
Yeah, that
week
is
for
true.
it.
Right before the playoffs, too. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I get it with some teams where if you're, you're out of it. What's the
Yeah,
point?
I mean, major album. I mean, it's all
Right.
unpredictable. We never know.
Right. I agree with this. I mean, I won't. Again, it's another one where I won't be surprised if the Rams win. But
Yeah.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
But I think if Jared Goff plays, then it's if
It's
Jared Goff
closer.
doesn't play, I don't see the Rams winning at all. I think Seahawks take care of business. I
That's
know
fair.
Russell's been not playing as well, but I think they're well coached. Much as I don't like Pete Carroll, they're well coached. They They have a really good offense. Their defense has been stepping up. I don't see them losing.
Oh.
If Jared Goff plays, it's a different story. Then it's like you take that into account.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Honestly, I can't really see it. I kind of want the Seahawks to win. Honestly.
Yeah, I like
the
Seahawks.
So I would take them over the Rams.
Yeah.
The next one, Washington football team hosting Tom Brady in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You really let's see.
Okay, no, it's not being against Brady. I just obviously around these parts, around in New England, we've been able to see most of his games this year. You know, the 4:00 games, the prime time and whatnot. Most of his games were on here. And from what I saw, obviously he's been lights out lately. But it's kind of been against like ass defenses. He's kind of just beating up on.
If you look at his last few weeks, he's been balling.
Yeah, he's just beating up on people.
For the record, guys, Tom Brady led my team over to the fantasy
me.
championship over Vinny's team.
Congrats, whatever.
Tampa Bay.
Anyways, there's no bias here. I'm not like
You've been saying that Brady doesn't perform in prime time.
He hasn't this year. He lost to the Giants.
This last few weeks, he's been so hot. He's been on a tear, bro. He threw for 40 touchdowns this year. Picture that.
No,
43. 43.
It was a lot.
Yeah. Second most compared to the 07 year. And granted, obviously, the offense was dominant, which alone, I think, is a factor why they're going to beat Washington easily.
So here's what I think. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and Brady's just on fire and just destroying everyone in his path. Like, that could completely, because we've seen that before.
Yeah.
But being realistic about it, from what I've gathered, he's lost to the Bears on primetime this year. He's lost to the Giants. He's had some other tough games against some good. It's the good defenses that have given him trouble. And Washington's one of the best defenses in the league. Say what you want about them. They were 7-9, whatever. Their offense is gross. Their defense is young and
that's true.
Nasty.
You see what Chase Young said?
I was about to say, I wish he didn't say anything because
every year someone says something. You got to, dude. Just so you have
Brady,
nothing to lose, dude.
You know Brady's gonna take that to heart, and
Listen though, just to counter your point, prime time, this that. Forget last year. It's Tom Brady in the postseason.
No, I know
he is gonna perform.
I know. I just think at the end of the day, the difference is gonna be how the Bucs defense does. If they let any if they let any BS. Do
you think Washington's gonna have a high scoring game?
No. Realistically, they shouldn't. But if they let a couple of plays here and there slip through, and Antonio Gibson or Terry McLaurin,
well, Alex Smith might not play either. He might be hurt. So there's a lot of injuries.
So if he doesn't play, it's over.
There's a lot of injuries. COVID.
This could be
a lot of questionable.
Both these defenses. It could be if Brady isn't there.
Yeah,
it could be a defensive game.
That's true.
It could look like the Titans.
Mike Evans might not play, but he still has Godwin, Antonio, Gronk.
No, of course. It's just. I
get where you're coming from. I'm not going to count the Redskins out completely, but I don't think
football team.
All right, fair enough. WFT. I'm not going to count them out fully.
No. I mean, I'm going to take the Bucs. I'm just not going to be. It's another one where I'm not going to be surprised, and I think it's going to be a competitive game. Say what you want about my opinion with that, but from what I've gathered, that's just what it looks like.
That's true. Should we kind of go further out, or is there?
What do you think? Yeah, go ahead. Tell me your predictions.
I don't know. What would the matching? What would the matching kind of be? If let's say all the favorite. What did we pick up? Did we just pick all the favorites?
Yeah. So So we have the Chiefs. So Bills. Not to go over everything.
Did we pick any upsets besides Titans, Ravens? Let's say that's the 4 or 5 anyway, right?
Are you? Let's just meet it there. So we have the Chiefs moving on second round. Bills, Colts. Bills.
Yeah.
Steelers, Browns. Steelers. Titans, Ravens.
Titans.
All right.
Whatever. But that's the 4 or 5. So either way, the winner would match up with the Chiefs, right? Or
yes.
With this new seeding, right?
If the 2 and 3 win, yeah.
I know last year was different because there was 2 buys, but with only 1 buy, I think it matches up.
Okay, so let's just say whatever. So Chiefs versus either Titans or Ravens.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
And the Bills versus the Steelers.
Bills. I think as a fan, we're like a football. We're all just rooting for Bills, Chiefs, in the AFC. So I think personally that's the only team that can beat KC.
Right. So you have Chiefs, Bills in the AFC. Who's going to the Super Bowl? I'm still saying the Chiefs.
Yeah, I want to say the Bills, but it's like I think I already have a predetermined idea of what I see the Super Bowl being. So I'm going to say Chiefs, I guess, just for the sake of argument.
Okay, so that's the AFC. Okay. Chiefs are going through to the Super Bowl. So the Packers have the bye. So again, Saints, Bears. Saints. Seahawks, Rams.
Seahawks.
Football team, Bucks. Okay. So
what does that match up? Does that match up
Packers and Tampa?
Okay.
Which Tampa already
that was a blowout win, right?
Yeah, but
Tampa
the
blew
Packers,
them out,
Packers
right?
aren't the same team, but
True.
still. And then it's the Saints and the Seahawks. That's a good game.
That's a good game. I think Packers at Tampa is even a better game.
It is. It's a really good game.
That's tough. That's tough.
To
I
me,
want to say Saints. I think you're going to say Seahawks.
I'm saying Packers, Seahawks, and the
NFC Championship. I'm saying Saints Bucks.
That'd be really
I
bad
think,
for
all right,
Brady.
That's a biased Brady fan, I think. But my ideal Super Bowl is Chiefs Buccaneers.
Obviously.
So just like Brady Mahomes, it'll be fun. But I guess if you want to go argument's sake, you're saying what? Seahawks, Packers?
Yeah.
So who do you think wins that?
I'm gonna say Packers.
So you think it's gonna be Packers, Mahomes, or Rodgers, Mahomes?
the
Super
one
Bowl?
and the one and the one.
Who
Call
would you
me
think?
like
Yeah.
Call me whatever like what
I don't know who I'd root for. I think I'd have to root for the Packers there,
I'd
right?
go for Packers.
Yeah. That's tough.
It's just
Do you see?
So-
How about this? We both say Chiefs are gonna make it, right?
Yeah.
What NFC team do you think has the best chance of beating the Chiefs?
I'd say either Packers or Bucks.
Yeah.
But
Saints.
unfortunately, they have to play each other.
The
in
thing with the
next
Saints,
round.
dude, I just feel like they haven't been fully healthy all year, so we haven't really seen what they look like.
Yeah. Well, I have the Seahawks beating the Saints.
Yeah.
You didn't make it that far.
No.
You had the Bucks.
I think I have Saints fully healthy beating the Seahawks. Seahawks were like Russell Wilson was really good at the beginning of the year, but then he kind of fell off. Like he was in the MVP race.
That's fair. I just don't trust old man Breeze anymore.
Yeah,
I can't.
But Russell hasn't been doing great. I mean, I don't know.
Get it. It's different. Like you said, though, playoffs. Is
But like we said, Chiefs. You think Packers have the best chance of beating them?
Yeah.
Packers or Bucks?
Packers or Bucks.
So yes, it is what it is. I say Bucks in the Super Bowl. You say Packers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But so I think both of us are.
As on fire as Brady is, I think Rodgers is just on as much fire, if not more.
No, for sure. He's been killing it.
Yeah.
He had a really good game. He's MVP.
He's probably MVP.
Right?
Yeah.
I really wish Derrick Henry would have got it.
That'd be hilarious.
Like they just have to rename it the QB award by now. Like if he got 2,000 yards, if you're not gonna give it to him this year, when are you gonna give it to a non-QB?
Yeah, that's fair. We
I
just
guess
saw the
Rodgers.
Heisman go to a receiver.
Yeah.
So it's
How many
Devontae Smith.
MVPs does Rodgers have? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think it's
3.
I want to say
2, 3.
It's either 2 or 3. I know
He
it's
definitely.
At least
I'll
2.
say this: he definitely needs another Super Bowl just to cement kind of his legacy.
Yeah.
But it's funny how I remember during the draft, everyone was mad that they took that quarterback instead of a receiver, and here they are still just top seed.
Yeah. Imagine if they did take a receiver.
Wow, that'd be.
I mean,
crazy.
I love Brady. I want Brady to get his 7th.
Yeah.
I'm just being like realistic. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
trying
for
to see
sure.
it. Like,
Well, realistically, then, if we're speaking, I think Chiefs could beat. I think Chiefs would repeat. Even though I don't really want to see it, I don't want to see all the. I actually really like Mahomes, but I obviously don't want to see him get all these Super Bowls so early on.
yeah, that's
I think
fair.
they're like a team. I think we're downplaying how nasty the Chiefs are, bro. Tyreek
For
Hill,
sure.
Kelsey.
I'm
I think
saying they're in the
they're
Super
favorites.
Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm saying they're in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just unfortunate that Tampa and the Packers would have to play in the second round. That's the thing.
See, that's what I was saying too. That should be an NFC conference preview,
It's just-
championship preview. It's just how the
it is.
seeding's working this year, I guess.
Yeah, it's just how it is. I
Yeah.
mean, if they wanted to be the number 2 seed, they could have been. All they had to do was beat
They
the
lost.
Saints.
Yeah, they lost a lot of games.
That's the thing. They couldn't beat the Saints this
That's
year.
true.
I-
Either way, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be really exciting and it's gonna be interesting.
I
to
really
pay
wonder if there's
attention.
gonna be an upset this weekend. I'm curious.
It'll
man.
be fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to watch because we don't have anything really invested
Yeah,
at all.
exactly. This is the
except
first
for
year
Brady.
forever.
If you're rooting for Brady, then
Yeah.
yeah. But other than that,
And that's by default. Who
right.
if you're rooting for someone to win it all, it's
Right.
the
It's
Brady
the
led
first
team.
time since whatever 09 or since
Yeah, it was
08 or
09.
whatever. Yeah. So it is what it is. You know, Patriots are out. Hate them
It's a
right
new
now.
era.
It is a new era. The Browns are in.
New era in the
The
NFL.
Bucks are back in.
Washington and Chicago, and it's just gross.
Yeah.
This whole 7th team. I like it. It's good for ratings, I guess, and
If
good
a
for the
team,
game.
if the team from the NFC East had to make it, I wanted it to be Washington.
I
though.
kind of want to see the Cowboys, even though
No.
Dalton sucks.
If Dak was there,
Gi-
yeah, but no.
Giants got screwed. Like obviously, like
Go ahead, talk about that if you want.
2
the
seconds,
Eagles
just 2
thing. Go
seconds.
ahead.
Just Giants obviously can't be mad because they're 6-10. Like just circumstances though. In that moment, I'd be pissed if I was. A
Oh
Giants
yeah, no,
fan.
I mean I get what they're saying.
That was a full-on tank.
Right. I mean it was kind of announced. I saw somewhere after.
So what he said, we want to get the Sudfeld, whatever his name is, see
Yeah.
some looks.
I don't really know
But
why.
come on,
yeah.
it's a 1-possession game. You have the
Right.
ball,
Right.
and you're just throwing the game at that point.
The difference between the 6th and the 9th pick.
The entire locker room was upset.
Yeah. So
That lost him the locker room.
It
How
is-
can you, as Doug Peterson, how can you go in the locker room after and tell the team, like, oh, we tried hardest?
right.
This guy hasn't played he's been on the team 4 years. He's played like 3 games.
Yeah.
Bro.
I mean, it is what it is, but you know, you said it too. The Giants were 6-10. They
Yeah, it's just like you can't be too
should've
mad.
Won more.
I like
games.
Washington. I like They're young. I think they have a really good team.
I think they're the best odds, and it's feel good. You know, Rivera had cancer. Alex Smith's coming
No,
back
for
with his
sure.
leg.
I think
I like
whoever was destined was going to lose to the Bucks, but
probably.
I would like to see Buccaneers Cowboys. It would have been a fun game.
I don't. That's just another
star-studded game.
That's just another defense that would have gotten fed to Brady.
Yeah,
which I don't think Washington is going to be.
I want to see that. That's the whole point.
No, I want to see a game. If Brady's going to win, I want to see him earn it, just like he had to earn it here every year.
All right, fair.
I want to see it.
That's fair.
That's how it is. Washington's defense is one of the best in the league.
I think Brady's
bad as they were.
Tear him
I
apart.
think he's going to beat them too. I don't think it's going to be as much of a blowout as I could be wrong. Again, like I said,
it's going to be interesting.
We'll see
Saturday, Sunday.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no,
I
thanks for
appreciate
having me. Anytime.
I always take up way more time than I
There's
think I'm
going
going to take up. Yeah, we end up getting
it's good.
into
It's healthy
it.
discussion.
It's fun. All right. See you all next time.